Hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take your life and your business, your health, fitness, mindset and body from where you are right now to where it is that you really want to be. And today I want to talk to you about emotional eating. But before I do that, I just want you to check in with you about how you're going with your 7-day challenge. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and have a listen to yesterday's episode. I want you to take steps every single day for the next 7 days to do what I've said in that session so that you can really feel the benefits and the change through your body. If you want to feel better, if you want to feel more energized, if you want to have that energy to focus more, then you've got to feel it through your body. And the only way you're going to feel it through your body is if you do things differently. That means you've got to eat differently. So go back and have a listen to that and just make sure that you make these steps every single day, progressively changing something so that you're inching yourself forward every day, little by little by little. I've often said that today is going to pass anyway, no matter what you do. So what if you had some more focus today to get some better outcomes today? That would be way more fulfilling, wouldn't it? So keep up your good work in doing that. And please post on Facebook, send me a message, something. Let me know how it is that you're going because this is a really worthwhile exercise. All right, today I said I wanted to talk about emotional eating. And I deal with obviously many different clients that have an emotional eating, I don't know if you call it a disorder, challenges, when people go into that place where they just don't feel particularly great for whatever reason, we call it emotional eating, or you may refer to it yourself as emotional eating because you just don't feel good and you want to fill that void. And how do you fill that void? Well, often it's done with food. We do it from childhood. That's where we learn it because what happens? You fall over, you're crying, and somebody says to you, here, have a lollipop. You go to the doctor, they give you an immunisation, you cry, and they say, look, here's a lollipop. Just for the record, I don't cry now when I have a vaccination. But that's the process. So we're setting our kids up very early to say that, well, when you're in pain, you have a treat. Okay, and then we continue that into our adulthood, and some people really, really struggle with it. So I was coaching a client this morning where she was talking about where she's done it pretty much since she was 15. She's, I don't know, I think she's in her 30s, early 30s maybe now. Maybe I'm being unkind, maybe she's a little younger than that, but you know, she's been around for another 10 to 15 years since she first started doing the emotional eating. And what's really important is when you dig back into your past to find out, so when did that start? Why did that start? And why has that continued? And then, and that's how I found out that, well, since she was 15, that's when she started doing it because she had some bad feelings coming up. She didn't have necessarily a supportive father who told her she needed to go and do certain workout, otherwise she'd be as big as a truck. So not supportive, not starting her health and wellness journey from the right perspective. It's starting it from pain. Now that can be good, but at 15, that's probably not the best way to be starting it. And I then was asking her a series of questions about how does she feel when she eats certain foods. And what she said to me was, I actually feel, because let me stop there. There are two impacts. There's the emotional impact, the mental impact of, I've eaten this and now I feel bad because I haven't done the right thing in looking after my body. There's that part of it. I feel like I've let myself down because I'm on a health kick, if you like, and I've let myself down. So there's the mental impact of it. And then there's the physical impact of, I've eaten this. It's like, oh man, I've eaten that. I shouldn't have eaten that. I feel horrible now. Oh, I think I'm going to throw up. I feel bloated, etc., etc. So I said to her, what do you feel? when you eat it? And she said, I feel pretty good. I said, what about the physical side? She said, yeah, I feel pretty good. She said, unless I have something like fish and chips, then I feel pretty ordinary afterwards. But otherwise, no, I feel pretty good. And what about mentally? And she said, no, I feel okay. Maybe sometime down the track, I might let myself down and say, yeah, no, I didn't do well there. But what I'm hearing from her is that there's not a lot of pain there. Okay, she's not beating herself up a lot. She doesn't feel particularly unwell after eating the food. And so she continues on this treadmill of, I feel bad, here's a food that might make me feel better. I know that I feel better when I do that, so I'm going to keep doing it. So unless she puts herself in a position of being in enough pain from making the poorer choice for her, then she's never going to break the back of this. So if this sounds like you, to be honest, I thought that one was a little bit unusual because most people say they beat themselves up pretty much straight away and say, oh man, I know I shouldn't have eaten that. And yeah, there could be the physical outcomes that they feel fairly quickly as well. But it's more the psychological impact that can have the greatest impact in you changing the behaviour. And so most people will say, yeah, no, look, as soon as I've eaten it, I know that I shouldn't have done it because I'm trying to lose weight or I'm trying to focus on this part of my health and I know that I've let myself down just there. Most people do that. So for the fact that she continues to go on this journey and just keeps revisiting it by having, a lot of takeaway and poor food choices, then if you're not giving yourself enough pain for it, you're never going to change the behaviour. So here's the trick. In order to change this, first of all, I want you to again think about, let's just make some small changes each day. If you're having takeout, 5 times a week, and you think, oh, who has it 5 times a week? Well, I know many people that do because they'll go to work and they won't make their lunch or take it with them. They'll buy it and they say, oh, well, that's not takeaway. Well, it still is because you are not making it. You're not putting all the ingredients in there. You're going to the shop and you're buying a chicken schnitzel sandwich, or you're buying that with some dim sims or a potato cake, or you're buying some KFC or something, or you're just coming up with a different definition. Oh no, takeaway is fish and chips and pizza and that kind of stuff. I'm not having that sort of stuff. But you know what I'm talking about. But then you've got your evening type stuff, which is normally like those things I just mentioned, or some Indian food, or some Italian food, or Chinese, something like that. So if you're doing that frequently every week, cut it down. Don't cut it out. I mean, if you can, then fine, if that suits you. But if you feel like, well, no, I'm doing this all the time, cut it down. Just cut it down. I mean, you'll be saving more money for sure, but just make that small change, because it's the small changes over a long period of time that make a huge difference to you. Okay, so that could be the first thing. Now, when it comes to breaking the back of this emotional eating or this binge eating that can often take place as well, what you need to do is fast forward before you do it. Okay, and you have to give yourself enough pain before you do it so that you won't do it. So if you like, you're standing there in front of, let's say you're at the supermarket and there's a whole row of donuts there, and you think, I really want to get the donuts because I'm feeling a bit hungry, I'm feeling a little bit down, I've had a bad day. Those donuts, they taste good, they're going to make me feel better. Now that's what your emotional mind is thinking right now. So what I want you to do is then imagine like you've got a book and you need to flick it through. You know how you flick a book, and flick the book right to the last page of the book so you can find out how the book ends. Same thing. Fast forward to the end, you're in front of the donuts, say, actually, I know that if I get these donuts and I eat them, there's 6 there, I'm probably going to eat 4 of them. I know that they do make me feel bloated. I know that I'm going to get a bit of a sugar rush. I know that that's not going to support my, my health, what I'm trying to achieve for myself. I know I'm going to beat myself up. I actually want to get my mind stronger, not weaker, so I'm not going to do it. Bang, walk away. Okay? You're at home, same situation, and you feel like, I'm just going to order Uber Eats, or I'm just going to do this, because she said to me, it's just easy to just have it arrive at your door. I mean, I've never even used Uber Eats. I think, well, you're paying more for the food and you're paying for a delivery fee. Why? But anyway, and it's always a poor choice. But anyway, I get that some people struggle with this. Same deal though. You've got to put the pain before you do it, because otherwise you'll do it and then maybe you'll feel the pain later. But it's like, fast forward it. Feel the pain now so you can stop the action now, so you don't feel the regret afterwards. Okay? Feel the regret now and don't do it. That's the way to do it. Now, the only way that you are going to consistently be able to perform this is if it's a really painful experience for you. Like in the client that I was talking about, it's not painful for her. So she's going to really struggle to change this behavior until she attaches enough pain to being overweight, uncomfortable, not feeling good about the decisions that she's making, to change the behavior. So this is how you need to create the pain. Think about what it is that you want for your health. Okay? Think about that. Think about it in terms of energy. Think about it in terms of focus, productivity, alertness. All the things that you want to achieve in your life. Maybe it's running a better business. Maybe it's progressing further in your career. Maybe it's just being able to stay awake and stay alert during certain meetings. Maybe you want to be more creative. Whatever it is, think about all of that. I want you to think about sleep patterns. There's another one. Thinking about, am I getting enough sleep? Am I really living life on my own terms? Think about your body. Think about the way that you look naked in front of the mirror. Are you 100% satisfied with where you are now? Chances are no, and you don't spend time looking at yourself naked in the mirror because you don't like what you see. And it's easy to just cover it up, look away, and just keep having the food. But look at it and say, am I really happy with this? And no, if I'm going to eat the 4 donuts, then that's not going to support me in getting leaner. It's not going to get me looking slimmer. Think about workouts. Maybe right now you don't have the energy to do workouts because you're too tired. Why? Because your food is not 100% right. Okay, I want to change that. I want to be able to enjoy living a healthy lifestyle. I want to be able to have enough energy to go to the gym and do those workouts and change my body. This is the beautiful thing about what I do, is I have the ability to teach people to change their body at any age. You can change the shape. You can lose fat. I've had clients that have lost 91 kilos of fat. That's like more than my entire body weight. They've lost it off their body. And to be able to feel amazing because of what they've been able to achieve. Feeling toned and athletic and sexy, whatever it is that it is for you, you can feel that way. Think about, as I said, the lifestyle. A lot of people come to me because they're sick and tired of being sick and tired and having that unhealthy lifestyle and want to change it and be able to step forward each day with confidence, knowing that they are putting their best foot forward. They're living a life full on their terms. Think about all the things that you want to be doing physically in your life. And I say that because I've got some older clients that I've worked with over time where they can't physically do the things that they want to do. I'm talking about being able to travel to Europe and maybe walk up a set of stairs, walking up the Eiffel Tower, doing things that require a bit of energy. They can't do it physically because they're very overweight, or their knees are no good, or their back is no good, or their hips are no good because they haven't taken care of themselves. What's that got to do with emotional eating? All of these things, all of the eating choices, the not caring about your body, not caring about your health and your fitness and your lifestyle, your energy, all of those things, they all relate to the choices that you make. And I encourage you to just make better choices and to feel the pain before you make the poorer choice. And that's not to say that you can never have a donut, for instance. But if you're having those types of foods and doing the emotional eating on a regular basis, then you're not addressing the root cause. And that's the problem. And you'll continue to live the same cycle over and over and over. I mean, here's a grown adult that is reliving the same experience almost daily for the past 10, 15 plus years. And it's an intelligent person that has a very responsible job influencing others, but can't master this. It doesn't seem to make sense, does it? We're adults, we're logical thinkers, and yet we have so much growing overweight and obesity issues, and so many people struggle with food and emotional eating. But if you can build the pain big enough around the principles that I just mentioned just now, then you feel the pain, fast track it before you make the decision. Are you going to stumble at the first hurdle, first time you get presented with this again? Chances are you probably will. But if you can make a slight change, then that's going to be beneficial for you. You'll get to the point where you find that you just don't have to do it because you've found a better way. Now, I have some insight into this myself, obviously because of the thousands of people that I've worked with, but also how I've felt it through my own body. So over many years, experimenting with different foods, I've found what really works for me, to the point where I am now, where it's very sustainable. I live a really healthy lifestyle. I love my food, and I don't feel like I need to, binge on food or emotionally eat if I'm feeling a little bit down. But there was a time when I did, and what I would do is my go-to food would be things like, say, toast, tomato and cheese. Okay, if I would, let me draw a pattern for you. Feeling sad, feeling down, feeling frustrated, whatever that was, whatever that event was, and I'd be feeling like there's something missing inside me. I need to feel that because I'd also feel a little bit hungry in that, whether it was an extra adrenaline rush or just that emotional drain, and you feel like, man, I just need something. So that would often be my go-to thing. Not every day or anything like that, but maybe it was once every couple of weeks, something like that. And I'd have 4 pieces of toast, okay, which is quite a bit. And I would feel a bit yuck afterwards. It's like, oh man, I feel a little bit like there's this big ball of stuff just sitting in my stomach here. And I'd still feel a bit hungry. That was also a problem. So then over years, I realised that really wasn't doing me much good. And I thought, I need to work out what's the combination of foods that do work for me, and how can I get to the stage where I never feel like I'm depriving my body of anything, and I can have the treats and the flavours and so forth, but do it in a way that was going to support me. And so I started introducing more smoothies into my eating. So for morning tea, for instance, I have my favourite one is frozen mango, water, myasthenics protein powder and some chia seeds. That's the one that I have. Actually, I won't be having it today. I'm doing a bit of a fast today, but That's the one that I would normally have in the morning and in the afternoon. And what am I doing there? Well, it's really healthy. It's a meal in a cup. It's sweet, so I'm satisfying that sweet craving. I use the chocolate protein powder. That's my favourite one. If you've got a chocolate hankering, then it satisfies that flavour as well. So the thing with emotional eating is you're often not satisfied. You may be looking for that full feeling and you're overeating, but you're actually not satisfied. What I was looking for was satiety. So that's why I started introducing these. I was satisfied. I wasn't full, but I was satisfied. I didn't feel like I needed to go for anything else. And I knew, nutrient-wise, I was doing the best thing for my body. And then with my other meals, I increased the amount of plant-based food that I was eating. So every single meal that I was eating, I made sure that I had plant-based food. In my case, it's normally 2 to 3 cups of vegetables. Sometimes it's salad, but normally it's vegetables. And when I started to do that, I started to again feel more satisfied. And in that process, I started to cut out some high energy carbohydrates. I'm not talking about keto here because I have plenty of high energy carbohydrates, but it's the timing of when I have them that's important, which is around my workouts. I won't go into that here and now. But when I started to do that as well, initially my mind started to play games. It was like, oh no, I need this food. But I just changed the timing of it. Didn't eliminate it, just changed the timing of it. And that started to make a big difference. And now, because I've been doing this for about 8 years, it's just the way that I live. I don't deprive myself of anything. If I do have, say, like fish and chips, for instance, I'll have a grilled piece of fish. I'll have maybe about a cup full of chips, and then I'll have salad with it. Because if I have too much more than that, I find it's too greasy and it just doesn't sit well in my stomach. So I don't deprive myself of it, but I just do it a little bit differently. Why would I not go for, say, like a Big Mac and fries and Coke and a sundae or something like that? Well, I think, wow, that's an enormous calorie hit for me. I'm not going to be satisfied and I'm probably going to feel pretty sick afterwards. So I'm not going to do it. I do that beforehand. Like I could do it now. If I imagine it all in front of me, I said, there's no way. I wouldn't order anything from there. I just wouldn't. I'd go somewhere else. So I've done that because I've learned how to satisfy myself. I've learned the foods that work through my body. I've learned to find the flavors that I need so that I don't feel like I'm ever depriving myself of anything. And I love every mouthful I take. I don't have to emotionally eat to satisfy my mood. I do it in other ways. So if I can do it, I teach other people how to do it. You can do it as well. But like I say, you could stumble at that first hurdle and that's okay. Just look to make steady progress. Build up the pain around the emotional eating, around all that. Go back and listen to what I said before about your health, your fitness, your body, the energy, the things that you physically want to be able to do in your life. Think about all those things, attach it to the emotional eating, the pain of doing that, and therefore saying, okay, I'm not going to do that. Fast forward to the end of those feelings before you start it and then say, right, it's not worth it. I'm going to do something else instead. Bang, go. Sometimes for people, it's just a matter of distracting themselves and saying, okay, well, yeah, I feel a little bit upset right now. Normally I go to food, but instead I'm going to go for a walk. Do something that doesn't involve food. Unless, of course, it's mealtime and you're going to make a poorer choice. Think of the pain, make a better choice. Simple as that. Simple as that. And a simple adjustment might be just this. The very first time you do it, you say, oh man, I feel like crap. I'm going to get takeaway. I'm going to get fried rice and something. Instead, say if you think, well, no, I'm definitely going to get it, modify it. Rather than get the fried rice, get steamed rice. Still enjoy the rest of it, but just make a slight modification. Then next time it happens, maybe rather than getting the sweet and sour chicken, you'll get some steamed rice with some stir-fried vegetables, for instance. Next time, you might just say, do you know what? I'm just going to make my own. I'm just going to do something a lot more healthy. You know, little by little, step by step, you get better and better. But put the pain before you do it, and then you'll find that you'll start to modify the behaviour. Simple steps, but really effective. If you want to connect with me, find out more about food, how I can construct a meal plan for you, go to thementaltoughnessandbodyshow.com, opt in for that free consultation, and let's connect. Let's start making 2021 your best year yet, and let's stop that emotional eating. Have a great day. Keep up with your 7-day challenge. See you soon.